Okay, we're live.
All right, good morning. Welcome to today's court enforcement hearing. My name is Myrna Rishi. I'm going to be your special magistrate today. This is a quasi judicial hearing, which means it's similar to court like we see on TV, but a lot less formal. And everybody who's here to speak on behalf of the case will have the opportunity to do so. At this time, I'm going to ask for those who are going to be providing testimony this morning to please stand up, raise your right hand for the taking of the oath. Do you swear to affirm that this testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. With that, we can go ahead and call the first case.
Okay, the first case is item number 16, case number 21-2562, property address of 1909 7th Court North, property owner is GHV Enterprises LLC, Officer Hicks. You don't have to come up here anymore. Please, not with that. Sorry, that's okay.
Good morning, Bob Hicks with the City of Lake Worth Beach. Property location is 1909 7th Court North. Property was found to be in violation of City Code Section 14-32 to apply for a City of Lake Worth Beach business license for the Hemp Connection, which is now as the Hidden Culture, and Section 14-35 to pass a use and occupancy for the Hemp Connection, known as the Hidden Culture, GHB Enterprises LLC, and Prom Transport Corporation. Courtesy notice was given on 11/5 of 2021. It was reinspected on 12/6 of 2021. Notice of violation and hearing was certified mailed out on 2/1 of 2022. It was received on 2/4 of 2022. I also posted the property in City Hall on 2/3 of 2021. Property was reinspected on 3/7 of 2022 and 3/30 of 2022, found to be in non-compliance. Photos have been taken of the property. I did have personal contact with the property owner. The city's recommendation time for coming to compliance for the business license and the inspection is June 29th of 2022, or pay fines of $100 per day plus the administrative cost of $425.29, also to be paid by June 29th of 2022. Attached also is a copy of emails sent to the tenant for the Hidden Culture. Items that were sent to them that needed to be turned in for zoning and what's missing from their packet. Also, I do have a copy of, and also in the record, the designation of agent form for the owner's son to speak as well.
Okay. One quick question. I see that in your notes, you have 3 different companies. I see the Hemp Connection, now at the Hidden Culture.
Yes.
Then there's a second one, GHV Enterprises LLC, and then a third one, Prom Transportation Corporations. All of them appear to be 3 different business entities.
Correct. GHV Enterprises is the owner of the property.
Okay.
Prompt Transportation is a tenant.
Okay.
And the Hidden Culture is also a tenant.
And neither of those 3 have.
All 3 of those need a
Correct.
inspection.
And that's where I was getting to, that it was not a matter of just one, it had to be all of them.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's hear from the respondent. Please state your name and relationship to the case, please.
My name is Chuck Malone. I'm a senior project manager with Atwell, and I'm here representing the fee simple owner of the property, who is present in the audience, Mr. Garrett Collins, who is sitting here and a tenant for an issue.
Okay.
He's also with us. We are going to comply with what you've asked us to do.
Good.
Okay. We have submitted a conditional use with the city. We did get a response back that there were some items that need really clarification.
Mhm.
We had that call yesterday with, I think, 5 members of the city staff, went through the list. We intend to resubmit our conditional use application on Tuesday after we got our clarification. This is a rather unique use. So it's completely regulated by other entities beyond the city of Lake Worth Beach, Department of Agriculture. So we are going to get the conditional use to be in compliance so you can get the BTR, which I still call an occupational license, okay? Maybe show my age, but we're going to comply. We're going to resubmit as our 10 on Tuesday. And we are, fingers crossed, everything will be complete, and we're hoping to get scheduled for the conditional use hearing in May.
Awesome.
So there may be another little bump as far as giving the information, but we are working in good faith and we're headed in the right direction to comply. So we've asked that you provide us additional time to go through that process, go to the hearing. I think Mr. Collins can testify that the other uses there have been inspected. And the only issue is the issuance of the conditional use operation for Mr. Wong. Once that's completed, we will be on compliance. So we are, again, working with staff, working with the city, we intend to comply.
Perfect. I appreciate all of that. And I appreciate the explanation because I was wondering why the June 29th date, and that perfectly explains the timeline. So that's great.
So just for the record, if there is a bump in our process, we're going to continue to move forward. We're not ignoring anybody. Sometimes a public hearing process, materials. So if we need to come back, we're happy to do that, but we just want to reflect for the record that we are headed in the right direction and we're going to comply.
Good. From what I'm hearing from the city and from what you're talking, there's been good communication between both parties and it's moving forward. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Bumps are going to happen. Just stay in touch with your code officer because if you hit a bump, he's your guy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we're working with staff and it's been so far so good.
Perfect.
It's a process.
All righty. I hereby find, based on the evidence presented, that the violations as stated in the notice of violation did exist. And as such, I'm ordering the property owner to come into compliance by June 29th of 2022 or pay a fine of $100 a day until the violations are corrected. I'm also granting the city's request in the amount of $425.29 for administrative costs in regards to this hearing. Okay. That is payable that needs to be paid by June 29th of 2022.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
You'll get something in the mail.
All right.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah. And good luck.
We're going to get there.
I know you are.
Next, we're going to go to page 6 of the agenda, item number 20, case number 21-2601, property address of 201 Date Palm Drive. Property owner is Julio Alberto Vargas, Officer Hicks.
Bobby Hicks with the City of Lake Worth Beach. Property location is 201 Dayton Palm Drive, situated on site address 431 Fatwell Road. This is the Florida Building Code that Mr. Ringel will come up and testify on. Building code. Issued a notice of violation, issued a courtesy notice on 11/15 of 2021. Re-inspected the property on 12/15 of 2021. We issued a notice of violation by hearing on 1/18 of 2022 by certified mail. The certified mail was received on 1/24 of 2022. I posted the property in the City Hall on 1/21 of 2022. Property inspected on 2/22 and 3/30 of 2022 and found to be in non-compliance. Photographs have been taken to show the violations. I have had personal contact with the property owner and their attorney. The city's recommendation time to bring the property into compliance is June 2nd, 2022, for pay fines of $50 per day, plus the administrative cost of $425.29, also to be paid by June 2nd of 2022. I'll have Peter.
Before you call Peter over, I see on the agenda there were violations regarding the Florida Building Code 105.1 regarding permitting. There were other violations regarding landscaping.
Those are all compliant.
Everything else is compliant.
Yeah,
Perfect.
the only thing left is the Florida Building Code.
Beautiful. Alrighty, and now we can have.
Peter Ringel, building official with the City of Lake Worth Beach. The building code violations is renovations were done to the exterior of the mobile home, adding additional openings, enclosing patios that were previously permitted. And I want to state that those patios were previously permitted by me in error. Okay, those permits should not have been issued because of zoning concerns that I was unaware of at the time that I issued the permits. The problem with this is a mobile home. It is not a traditional structure. And so that is, the renovations are regulated by the Division of Motor Vehicles. And there's two issues going on. If it were just simply a matter of restoring the mobile home to its original condition, then they could do that. But there are also existing additions that were enclosed that now become non-conforming because they were renovated. So those additions must be removed. And that's why, in my opinion, and what I had stated to the owner of the trailer, that I don't believe that the trailer can be restored because the restoration is going to be more than 80% of the value of the mobile home, which would disqualify it from a renovation.
Now, is there any involvement right now, or do you foresee in the future involvement from the DMV in regards to?
The DMV delegates the permitting process to the local municipality.
Okay.
So the DMV does not get involved in any permitting because this would be considered a level 2 alteration of a mobile home.
But I'm hearing two different, not two different things, two issues, to put it that way. One, we have the code violation of the addition without a permit. But the other one, and I don't think you flat out said it, but I think you were hinting towards it. If they can't renovate the trailer, are you saying that because they can't renovate it in a fashion that'll be okay with Lake Worth ordinances, or is there a concern about the putting basically back the trailer together, if that was even a choice, whether it would actually structurally be sound enough for the DMV to approve it?
Yes, you stated that succinctly. So in order to restore the trailer to its original condition, it in my opinion, is not practically feasible.
But my question is then, if there could or could not be an issue on it, but let's say just for the sake of argument that there is an issue on it, at what point does DMV become involved? I just want to make sure that as part of the order, when we try to go ahead and assist them in trying to get them to comply, if that is a feasibility, that we are taking those other agencies and timelines in consideration. So I don't want to go be here. It's like, oh, you just have a zoning issue, you'll be done in 2 months. When it's not just a zoning issue, you might have to get the DMV involved. And now
the DMV does not get involved in the renovations or restoration of a mobile home. So they would not be involved in the process. They just set forth the guidelines of what's allowed to be done to a mobile home before it becomes disqualified as a mobile home and then must be removed.
and I don't, part of my ignorance, because I don't know anything about mobile homes, but it being by DMV, does the DMV actually conduct like some type of inspection on a certain time? Once it's sold, it's registered and that's that? They never come by to see it, look at it?
That is correct. The DMV does not have, the only thing the DMV does is keep up with the registration of the mobile home. They have an annual registration, just like you do of any motor vehicle.
Okay. And it's sight unseen, just like we do with the motor
Correct.
vehicles. Okay. All right. All right. Please say your name and relationship to the case.
Michael Garcia, I represent the property.
Okay.
Attorney.
All right. So where are we heading with this?
So I spoke to them. We agree that we're not in compliance. I disagree with them. I think we can't come to get into compliance. I requested 60 days to see if there's a professional that's gonna help us. Because obviously I'm not a professional, they're not professionals. If someone says they can, we'll submit plans to the city, and obviously the city has to look at it and say, yeah or nay. And then at that point, we can move forward.
Have you started the legwork on trying to find somebody? Because it's,
Yes.
oh, you found someone,
Well, no, we haven't gone.
but at least you're getting some.
Yeah, so that's why we
Please.
requested 60 days in order to submit something to the city to say, hey, this is what is it. Because obviously the city has to approve whatever's been submitted to them.
Yeah, you have to, you have to, yeah, you have to have a plan. You got to go ahead and have somebody draw up the drawings, even to get into permitting. But I think in this scenario, it might be wise to stay definitely in close contact with the city, with the building official, because of the unusual
We've
condition.
already had, since I've been retained, I think we've had about two or three discussions about this. And we had one this morning again. So the whole point is to try to come into compliance if possible. And I understand the city's position that maybe it's not possible, but we want to submit.
Is the city okay with the 2 months and having them come back for a status?
That is up to the discretion of the magistrate, and I, as the building official, do not have a problem with that
Yeah,
because it is a very
I agree.
technical and legal issue because we are talking about, somebody's residence. So I would always err on the side of leniency in that case. But what I will do is give the attorney a copy of the DMV regulations. And I agree with your assessment.
Okay, no, I totally agree, especially given the circumstances. Normally they would say, 30 days, find a contractor, get the plans in and tell me how it goes. But in this scenario, I think I'm gonna give you, what I might do is I might go ahead, I'm thinking about giving you the deadline that the officer presented of June 2nd of 2022, but with a status conference in 2 months. And the idea behind the status conference is, like you said, I want to see where you're at in terms of, have you found someone? What are you thinking? What your thoughts are? So at that point in time, we know, okay, so he's on his way. Do we need to extend it a little longer? Can he accomplish it? So we can have the discussion about where you're heading and how much time.
And we'll get notice of that status conference on June 2nd.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get a notice.
Right, well, it's not June 2nd, May 20th.
Well, no, it would be the order, the compliance order, I'm gonna set it as requested by the city was June 2nd of 2022, but your status conference is the month before,
May 26th.
the May 26th.
Okay, that's the.
Because that way
Okay.
you never run into fines. If you're here, we can discuss it and I can give you more time if need be.
Okay.
All righty, I hereby find that the violations as stated in the notice of violation did exist and continue to exist. All of them have been corrected with the exception of Florida Building Code 105.1. I hereby order the property owner to come into compliance by June 2nd of 2022 or pay fines in the amount of $50 a day until the violations are corrected. I'm also ordering the property owner to, I'm also granting the city's request in the amount of $425 with 29 cents in regards to administrative costs, which shall be payable by June 2nd of 2022.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah, I have this. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to page 10 of the agenda. Item number 29, case number 21-2756. Property address is 2000 North D Street. Property owner is the Penal Haitian Baptist Church. Fire and Palm Beach County Fire Inspector Del Rossi. You can.
Wants to sit up here.
No comment.
I want you to be able to see me. The curves of the shorts. Yes. Shirt as well, so I feel your pain. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Next case.
Inspector Del Rossi, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. The property is Penal Haitian Baptist Church, 2000 North D Street. The initial inspection was completed by me on March 22nd, 2021. It was, the church actually came out, asked me to come out and do an annual inspection, so that's why I was at the property. During that inspection, it was found there was quite a significant amount of violations that need to be corrected. What is still pending now, as of today, is there was carpet and wood paneling on the walls that do not comply with the required interior finish. They need to be removed 100%, and that includes all glue used to secure anything to the walls. There was a hole in the ceiling in one of the closets, must be repaired. Let me see. There is exit signs and emergency lights that have been either removed or are missing or aren't working. They need to be repaired. There is a significant amount of fabrics throughout the building that need to be treated for flame resistance and comply with 701. The largest issue is the occupant load for this church is over 300.
Okay.
So that requires a fire alarm system. with the voice evac component added to it. There are some stairs and ramps that don't have handrails to code. Let's see, there was a electric skillet in there that needs to be removed because it's not a commercial cooking apparatus. There were additional locks on doors that have panic or fire hardware that need to be removed. So like thumb turn locks and those type of things. They need to have an annual NFPA. They have their annual NFPA AV door inspection. And according to that, 31 out of the 36 doors were non-compliant. So they either need to make repairs where it's appropriate or replace those doors. There's also doors that have been replaced over time that were fire rated doors that are no longer, that also need to be replaced throughout the building. Let's see, there are at least 3 stages in the property that were installed without permits. So they need to either remove those stages or submit for permitting on those. The kitchen suppression system needs to be inspected. It's supposed to be done every 6 months. It hadn't been as of when I was there. And if there are anything on that report that needs to be repaired, that needs to be completed as well. They need to remove storage from under the stairs and under seating in mechanical and AC rooms. Label all the breakers and electrical panels. There was a few doors that weren't actually opening and closing freely. They were sticking, so we couldn't get them open easily. They need to submit an emergency action plan, which is kind of like an emergency evacuation plan for the amount of people that they have. It's required. In the report, it shows 7 different types of 7 things that we're looking for in that plan. Let's see. And they've already submitted they submitted documentation for the approval of the floor plan and the occupant load.
Okay.
So that was taken care of. But those are still the issues that are still pending as of today.
That's still a lot. And obviously the property is not being occupied, correct?
Yes, it is.
It is?
Mhm.
I thought we had no occupancy on that one. Wasn't this the one that had a loft upstairs?
No, this is a whole different church.
Okay.
We
Okay, got it.
we met with the pastor and then their architect, engineer, with the fire marshal, the assistant fire marshal and myself on 5/18/21 to go over everything. The attorney for the property, we spoke before the hearing. They appear to have hired a general contractor to start working on these things, but they're not there yet.
And it has been going on since at least 2021.
March 22nd, 2021.
Okay, so we're going on 2 years. All right, anything else from the city?
No, that's it.
All right, please state your name and relationship to the case, please.
Good morning, this is PSN Jean, and I'm the legal counsel for the church.
Okay.
So
Where are we at in terms of the fixing the violations?
well, first of all, this is a building, it's an old building. The church acquired that a few years ago. So far, the church spent over $1 million bringing into the position where we could occupy it. By the way, we had an occupancy permit to occupy it before the church went there. And before we could do that, we had to spend a lot of money, like I said, over $1 million to get that done. During the inspection in 2021, we had discovered this kind of issue that we did not know. Now, we immediately hired GC, an architect, which met with the fire marshal to address the issues. Obviously, there was some kind of miscommunication between that person we hired and the fire marshal as far as the progress report that should have been given. I myself was not aware of any progress report, if possibly church leader did not know. We just discovered that this morning from Mr. Lawrence. For one of the things, for example, the carpet. if we'd known that could be removed, we would remove it by now. It's a non-issue, we would have done that. To do anything, for the GC to do anything, we needed to get a plan first. We hired the architect to give us a first plan. We did not meet what the GC would want. And we went back and got it revised and just got it and submitted. So now the GC is in the process of trying to see if they can submit for permit. But last time we spoke, I guess we have an issue with the vendors, suppliers. And for example, to submit the permits, the GC told me that they need to do the doors that we spoke about. They need to know what the door, the specifications to put down on the permits, the fire alarm, and we need those. And then the subs have been calling around, then they haven't made any progress yet to submit. So, bottom line is, the church, the pastors, the two pastors are here, and then the church board here to show that they are fully committed to get this problem resolved, and that's probably why they spend $1 million to get it to the point, what it is now. But these remaining issues, we are fully committed to get them resolved. But unfortunately, we're here today. We need extension, we need more time, and we need to get a plan. Communications with me and Mr. Lawrence did not go well. I tried to contact and send email, obviously, she did not get them. But what we really need now is to have more time to be on the schedule. Except for the carpet, that's something we can do right away. We can go back to the GC and then put some fire to see if we can apply for the permit right away. But we need more time. It's not done today. We're not gonna be able to get it done tomorrow. So we here at the mercy of the city, of the marshal, to give us more time and work with us to get it done. And we are committed to get it done.
The only concern that I have, and it's a big concern, is the fact that this was cited back in March of 2021. We're now, actually, no, it's 1 year. I was thinking 2 years. I don't know why. Okay, so we're going in a year of this getting extended over and over again. What prevented the church from being able to hire the architect and get the general contractor back when it was originally cited?
We understand that, but at the same time, we are not in a normal year now. Everything takes longer than it usually.
No, but the problem is I never see, it doesn't sound like there has been any even attempt to retain
The
someone.
first architect we hired met with the fire marshal throughout the process to try to address the issues. Except the first plan they provided, the architect provided was not the plan that we needed. So we have to go back to draw another plan.
So when was that original plan that you're saying the architect had to go back and
The
redraw?
original plan, I don't know if there's a date on it here, but Ms. Torres indicated the time when she met with the first GC. So that tells you when we addressed the issue right away. We were not sleeping on it. This spring, we got a date on it.
The 518?
That was 518. Oh,
And he sent me the plan.
Go ahead and just, you want to speak.
We met on 518.
Okay.
The architect sent the plan. He had to send it a couple times. And I would say I've had it probably since July, but that was, and then I received the door inspection in January, but that's all I've gotten.
Then when is this new set of plans? When was it?
the new set of plans, we got it this month.
This month. So
Right.
it took the architect, what, 8?
Well, we had to hire another architect
Okay,
because the architect that we met with was dragging his feet, and we realized we will be where we are now. We had to fire him. By the way, I was not on the case when we were working with Pastor with the church. When Pastor let me know that, and I realized we can be in trouble with you guys, I fired him and hired a new one. So this is the architect I'm working with right now. The GC I'm working with, we are working as diligently as possible to get it solved. So this is pretty much where we are. The church did everything they could by hiring this new, the previous architect who was not doing the job it took me to come in and step and say, you out of here. We want to get something done.
My inclination right now, and I'm putting this out there because I wanna hear from the city, is to put in 30 days, but I don't think I do the next hearing, right?
No, the next one for you would be May.
I don't wanna wait 30, I don't wanna wait 60 days. Can we put something on Keith's agenda? Let's go ahead. My inclination is to do 30 days. And in those 30 days, I'm not gonna set fines, but I'm gonna have you come back in 30 days. And I want you to go ahead and it would be a status, more of a status conference than anything else. I want you to go ahead and tell me that basically what I mean, the reason that I'm giving you the 30 days is going to be because I want when the 30 days come up, I want you to be able to present to the other special magistrate that plans have been submitted. The excuse about the specs and the product descriptions to go ahead and submit it with the permitting, those are readily available. The GC, the architects, any of them could have gone ahead and gotten those for you. So I don't buy that nobody can get those NOAs because they're readily available. So with that said, that's the reason that in 30 days, there has to be a submission of plans with the products requested and anything from that list that can be done without a permit, such as, like you said, the carpet, the wood paneling, the curtains, anything that the church can do on its own, because it's not a big production, needs to be taken care of. I mean, even the emergency action plan, isn't that something that can be, who prepares those? It's just a plan that they can go, they don't need an expert or anything like that. That's something that can be done. So there's a lot of items on this list that could have been done in the past year that have not been. So that becomes concerning.
Was it that the emergency action plan was also submitted to you by the previous?
All I got was the floor plan.
Was a floor plan, so it was not an emergency.
Stuff like making sure the doors are moving freely. Again, a handyman can do that. You don't need a permit for that. Probably a little W-40 and it's done. But again, there are a lot of little things that you could have taken off the list that would have made her seems like, you know what, they're moving. Yes, they're trying with the plans, but all these little items are getting taken care of. So is that okay with the city? Okay,
So may I?
go ahead.
So I understand those little item emergency action plan, we group again to see what's happening and get them done right away. But for permitting, so I'm not a GC, I don't know.
No, I'm not talking about permitting. I'm talking, there's a whole bunch of things in this list that have nothing to do with permitting.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
you don't need a permit for a little screwdriver to the door to go ahead and make it work.
I got it, I got it.
Okay.
Now, one more thing, if I may. I heard that spiritual magistrate said that you're not gonna stop.
Yes, I'm gonna, it's the only way I can go ahead and make sure that you do know what you need to do. You come back on the 30th. In 30 days, I'll let Keith go ahead and make the decision as to whether he's gonna keep them running or stay them. But the goal is we're looking for progress, for real, tangible, you can touch, you can see progress.
What I want to say is that I understand that.
Okay.
But the fact that the church is spending a lot of money now, keeping the fine running could put the church in a more hardship situation to keep spending money to do those things done.
Well,
I will respectfully ask that you give us the status check for 45 days. Then if we don't make progress, then I will understand if the special magistrate went on, that the fine ran.
the request is denied. My order is gonna be about the 30 days. And the reason I'm gonna tell you flat out why the reason that I'm denying that request is because it's been a year. And I understand that you think you've done some movement. The city doesn't believe that there's been a substantial push to get the property up in compliance. And I understand that the fact that there's an economic aspect to all of this, but on the other side is that's the property you guys bought. It's gotta be to code, especially when you have occupancy of 300 people for that building, God forbid, something happens. I mean, we don't joke around with the order from the fire marshal because they're a fire hazard. I mean, literally, people can die. So we want to go ahead and make sure these things are moving forward.
Got it. So are we talking 30 days from today or?
Yeah, it's gonna be for the next.
April 28th
April
is the next hearing.
All right, I hereby find that the violations as stated in the notice of violation did exist, continue to exist. I'm hereby ordering the property owners to report back on April 28th of 2022 for a status conference with the anticipation that plans will have been already submitted that the permit application has already been submitted. And all items, all violations that do not need permitting get completed. Great, that's it. Oh, and obviously I already put it on the record, but I'm gonna say it again. I'm not staying fines. They're gonna continue to run,
There's no fines yet.
but it's going to start.
At what amount? I didn't get the amount.
Do we have, oh, I'm sorry. Let me do that. Let me do that again. Okay, so I hereby find that the violations as stated in the notice of violation did exist and continue to exist. I'm hereby ordering the property owner to return on April 20th of 2022 for the status conference. And I'm also going to start the fines running at $250 a day until the violations are corrected. Now, when you come on the 30th, based on, I'm going to go ahead and if we could put a note for Keith that if he's actually done progress and if Keith in his obviously opinion and discretion feels that they need to save the fines and give him more time, then we'll go ahead and do that. But right now, I just need you to get something the next 30 days and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Next, we're going to go page 16 of the agenda, item 44, case number 22-157, property address of 807 Lucerne Avenue. Property owner is Irving Pearl and Son LTD, Officer Del Rossi.
What was the agenda number again on this one?
I'm sorry, it's page 16, item number 44.
Inspector Dorothy, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. The property is 807 Lucerne Avenue. The inspection was initially completed on 6/10 of 2021. It was for just a routine annual inspection. What is still pending is on the interior, there is a set of stairs that it goes to the upstairs. And underneath it, there's storage. That storage needs to come out. I was actually there yesterday, took pictures, and those are still, there's still storage under the stairs. Granted, quite a bit has been taken out, but there's still quite a bit under there.
Okay.
And then for the outside of the building, in the rear of the building, there are apartments on the second floor. So in the rear of the building, there's a second set of stairs that goes to the outside. They are in very bad shape. I actually, if you look, I took some updated pictures yesterday and they're actually in worse shape than the last time I was there. And then it's also, you have to walk across the roof to get to the entrance or the exit and then to get down the stairs. So they need to just show that the roof is capable of having people walking across there. And then they also have people up there. There's like chairs up there and things like that. And then if you see in the picture, there's also no railing across the front of the roof if we're gonna have people up there.
Officer Del Rossi, I want them to comply with all these things, but the things that are cited for today are the new electrical installation and park permits. Are those two things in compliance or?
Well, the stairs is the permit, yes. Now the electrical, I spoke to Peter and he confirmed that all the electrical has been taken care of. There was still some low, so I wasn't sure if they were all done, but I confirmed with him this morning that they were. So the issues still are the stairs, the roof, and then storage under the stairs inside.
So and when you say roof, it's the loads and the railings.
Yes.
Loads and then the storage.
And I have been in contact with the property manager, met with her there a couple of times, then her clearing other violations and those types of things. But like I said, just the stairs, the roof, and then the interior storage of the stairs is what is still pending.
Okay, let me go ahead and get from Richmond. State your name and relationship to the case.
My name is William Reichel. I'm one of the property managers for the property. I was not aware of the storage on the stairs. We'll get that done this week. For the stairs and railing, we have been working on that. We had about 5 fabrication companies come out and look at it. They were not interested. We did get an engineer involved, got plans drawn for that. And we have since hired a contractor to do the pad for the new stairs and ordered the new stairs and railing for the property. We're just waiting on them to fabrication company to send us drawings and then manufacture it.
What about the roof loads and the railings? You have an engineer, he can probably take care of the roof.
Right, roof loads, I didn't see that on the recent thing, but as it was built, the original plans called it deck. I mean, that building,
Didn't it?
the original building plans called that area a deck.
Okay,
That's how it was built. That's what it's been. It's been there for 74 years. I don't know why that load would be an issue now. We can have an engineer do that, but
yeah,
the building was built with a door there for access from that area.
what about the railing portion for that roof?
That as well, we have ordered from the manufacturer.
Okay, and the permitting for that?
We have a contractor that I don't know if they've submitted permits yet, but they're working on getting permits together to submit.
Okay, so it seems like you have 2 permits running, one for the railing issue and the other one for the stairs.
Correct. Or I don't know if it'll be under 1 permit or 2.
Magistrate Peter will just confirm that they have not submitted for a permit.
They have, okay.
Right now, it's 807 Booster.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, and the permitting for that?
We have a contractor that I don't know if they've submitted permits yet, but they're
Okay,
working on getting permits together to submit.
Okay, I think we're good again.
Okay,
I think we're okay.
Okay.
We'll find out.
Did,
We're not IT here, so.
and you said you already spoke with a contractor and they're working on plans for the stairs, right?
Correct, yes,
So then
we've ordered the stairs.
And they're also with the same person's doing the railings?
No, it's a different manufacturer for the railing.